Hello and welcome back to my railway related channel. Sorry for the rather long hiatus since I last posted any videos. I haven't really got any excuse, I'm just pretty bad at making them. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different. We're going to in fact be taking a look at a couple of Hornby's 2020 Bassett-Lowke Steampunk wagons. Here's one, and here is the other. There we go. No, I'm not going to be creating a steampunk themed layout for them or anything like that. I think I've already got enough layouts started, or at least planned in my head, to last a lifetime. I've bought these because, firstly, I'm intrigued to see what this range is actually like. I've seen a few YouTube reviews of various items, read the odd bit in some of the modelling magazines, but I would like to see what they're like for myself. And the second reason I've chosen to get these was they were extremely cheap, and that's really the main reason. Before we get on to unboxing them and seeing how they run and so on, though, I'm going to take a couple of minutes or so to try to understand what steampunk actually is. In researching the subject, I came across a great quotation I'm going to share with you now. Steampunk is an inspired movement of creativity and imagination, with a backdrop of either Victorian England or America's Wild West at hand. Modern technologies are reimagined and realised as elaborate works of art, fashion and mechanics. If Jules Verne or H.G. Wells were writing their science fiction today, it would be considered steampunk. I don't know whether any of you are going to be fans of H.G. Wells or Jules Verne. I have some awareness of books that they've written, but I don't think I've actually read any of them myself. But anyway, the first thing to note about that quotation, and I think it's quite a helpful one, is that steampunk is a fictional world, or perhaps better, worldview. Yes, people do make it a lifestyle, and there are numerous events around the world catering to this interest, a number of which happen at steam railways. But there are no historic forerunners of it as such. My own personal experience is literally limited to having looked around at things online and having been to one of these events at Middleton Railway in Leeds. From what I've been able to glean from the online sources, steampunk is a reimagining of the past with modern convenience, but powered by older technologies, primarily steam. The steampunk world is one that combines chivalry, excellent standards of engineering, and strong female characters with science fiction and steam. One thing steampunk most certainly is not is old-fashioned clothing from the Victorian era or the American Wild West, with watch gears stuck on here and there. Frankly, I get the impression that suggesting such is a bit of an insult. A number of the early criticisms of Hornby's steampunk range revolved around the company misunderstanding this subculture in a cynical effort to grab cash. Well, we'll have to see from the products whether that's a fair criticism or not. But I think it's about time we got on to opening the boxes and seeing what we've actually got. So here is BL6003, the Dinosaur Hatchery wagon. Well, let's get it opened. That's probably a good idea. Okay, so we've got the typical sort of semi-block of ice thing going on here. So that's okay. And let's see what the actual wagon is like. Well, that's not a good start. One of the coupling hooks is already detached, so we'll have to have a go at reattaching that in a moment. Well, there's certainly some weight to this wagon, no doubt about that. I think from what I understand, basically this is a mould, and they are produced then in, desperately trying to think of the word and it isn't coming, the same thing that the Scaledale and buildings are made with and so on. Resin, that's the one. Resin. Yeah, so basically this is cast resin. You've got your standard kind of underframe with metal wheels, which seem very nice. And then you've got this resin body stuck on top of the chassis with obviously various bits that the original had stuck on, but obviously it's all part of the one moulding. Okay, well, not too bad, I guess. Let's have a look at the other model that I've got here. Let's get that on the track. There we go. And our other one is, let's have a look, BL6004, the Goggle Polisher wagon. Not sure about that one. We'll have a look. So again, you've got your block of ice type thing, and oh, wow. And this one appears to have a loose wheel set. Wow, the quality of these is just something else. Yikes. So let's have a lolook then at this. So we've got a standard kind of open wagon, typical old style frame. Hornby clearly haven't spent a load of money on new underframes or anything. These are your classic ones that date back to, I don't know, 1970s, 80s probably, something around then. Probably similar age to me, basically. Again, nice metal wheels. Let's see if we can actually get this to go back into where it should have been in the first place. Looks like it's a bit, yeah, that could definitely do with some bending back into position. A bit loose, really. So that'll be why the wheels have popped out. Well, not a good start. Again, resin body with various bits of stuff. Obviously put on before it was moulded. And then you've got a nice heavy resin body. So let's put these down on the track and let's have a look. Well, so let's do that. So how do they roll? Well, let's have a look. Are they free rolling? Not terrible, not great. I think that's a fair way of putting it. Let's move that one down there and let's try the Dinosaur Hatchery wagon. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Right. So let's see them being pulled by something. Okay, so let's see how good it is at coupling up. I'm just using a Bachmann 56XX small prairie tank, which is a good smooth runner. Well, that didn't go well. Let's try that again. And I think we have actually managed to connect now. Okay, well let's give that a bit of a go then, shall we? Let's see how this actually works with these wagons. Okay, smooth enough. A little bit of shaking about at low speed. And let's try that in reverse. Let's see if that's all right as well. Okay, well, they certainly run well enough. I don't think there's going to be any major problems with running on the majority of layouts. They're obviously fairly standard four-wheel wagons, so even if you're on sharp curves, you shouldn't have any major problems with these. So what shall we say about these wagons? Well, they run well enough, they've got a decent bit of weight about them, and I guess if you're into something a little bit different, then I guess they're okay. There certainly seem to be quite bulky things that certainly children aren't going to have major problems handling or anything like that. There's certainly none of the body or separately fitted parts, as if, coming off on these. So they probably do a job at the lower end of the market, although I'd suggest that perhaps quality control could be a bit of an issue on them. Yeah. Steampunk, though, are they really steampunk? Or are these basically old wagons that have had a load of spare parts thrown at them, put into a mould, and then resin versions of them produced in large numbers? I'm really not convinced about these at all. Is it a cynical attempt at a money grab by Hornby? I don't know. It's certainly not beyond the realms of possibility, I feel. And the other thing really with these wagons is who's actually going to buy them? That's the difficulty, isn't it? You look at the fairly limited range that Hornby launched last year in 2020, and so far this year the only things under the Bassett-Lowke name that they've disgraced, frankly, the name with is a range of knockoff Lego creations, hardly inspiring confidence in the brand being reimagined for the 21st century. So, Bassett-Lowke Steampunk range, the sort of price I paid for these, well, okay. They cost me just over £6 each, delivered. And at that price, well, they're not bad. However, if you were paying full RRP of these, which I think is around the £14, £15, £16 sort of mark for these coaches, then I think I'd feel pretty shortchanged at that. For that same kind of money, you can get yourself a very nice second-hand modern Bachmann or Hornby super detailed wagon, which frankly is going to be a sight better. But then I guess it depends what you actually want. Another good comparison is what you can get second-hand. Now, of course, at the moment, with there being no shows or anything like that, unless you've got a local model shop with second-hand items, then you're going to be paying more than certainly you would have done a year or two ago. But even now, you can probably pick up a typical old Airfix Dapol wagon here for about £5-6, maybe plus postage. And to be honest, the quality of this is significantly better. Detailing, nicer tension lock couplers. And the question is, what would you rather have? Something second-hand, admittedly not with metal wheels in this instance, but you could change them very easily. Or these things. I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to stick to the more prototypical items that you can pick up second-hand for around the same kind of price. So, yeah, that's what I think to the Hornby Bassett-Lowke Steampunk range. Frankly, not a lot.